All right. Greetings and shalom, people. My name is Brother BA out of Sacramento, California. And we are on here with my brothers in the struggle, fellow comrades, Eric the Red and Free Flow, aka Chris. Brothers, go ahead and expound and let's let us know what's going on with
Hey, what's good? I'm just chilling, just upset about the Michael Brown verdict, and upset about what happened to Eric Garner, and what upset about what continues to happen to our people in the streets. And
Uh, yeah,
go ahead, Chris.
yeah, and I'm pretty much very dissatisfied about the police at the moment because, yeah, I had an incident with the police 2 days ago. I wanted to fill a court file for fraud and secretary and shit, and the police just did nothing. They didn't even want to hear it out. They had no interest at all, and yeah, in my opinion, the cops really are lazy, corrupt bastards.
you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Concerning this Mike Brown and Eric Gardner, but we can go prior to that. We can go to Oscar Grant, Sean Bell, Ami Diallo, and there's countless other people who have been who have been victimized or killed because of the police either jumping to conclusions too soon or just getting to the point where they're being sloppy with doing their job.
yeah.
And
Exactly. Yeah.
Let's not forget about John Crawford and Trayvon Martin, Emmett Till,
it's what
Jordan Davis,
yeah,
Oscar Grant.
it's a big list. It is. See, my thing is that I am I get disappointed about well for here in America. I tend to notice that this is what makes me upset. It's the media. Uh, the media takes this white cop killing these or killing a young black man. They take it and they run with it and they use it to their advantage. Um, they tweak the truth. We don't actually know what happened in these cases. The Mike Brown case is a very. I mean, to be perfectly honest, no one actually knows what really happened. I mean, we can only go with a little bit of evidence that's been presented to us.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, how can you jump to conclusions if you have no concrete evidence?
Exactly. Like first we hear that, and this is what I heard, and I may be, and this is what I heard when it first happened. All he was a guy at the store. She robbed and all that good stuff, or whatever you want to call it. Then all of a sudden they said that I guess the police officer responded to the fact that he robbed her. And then they had their little confrontation and the young man ends up being killed. But see, that's not what happened. He went into the store, he shoplifted, so they're gonna say he robbed the store. Let's keep it real. Yes, did he do something illegal? He shoplifted? Yes.
Yeah,
But
Yeah,
not robbed the store.
who hasn't shoplifted in their life? I mean, seriously, for
we
anybody to
most
say
people.
that he's a
Yeah,
criminal because of that, and that he deserved to get
exactly.
shot by that cop, that's
I
ridiculous.
mean, most people I know, and since I'm in Germany, they're predominantly white, of course. And yeah, I mean, really like everyone I know has shoplifted at least once in their teens, at least in their teens, once or twice. I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
that's no grave offense in this case,
yeah,
and it's definitely not a reason to shot someone.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
and
then
again, we're
he pushed that the store owner, and that's about it. He shoplifted, and then it got caught, and then the store owner like tried to run up on him, and then he pushed the store owner, and that's what happened. And they try to make
Yeah,
it like he deserved to be shot for that.
yeah. I mean, come on. Of course, it was wrong. It was bad that he shoplifted and pushed the shop owner. But I mean, does this equal to be fucking shot? I mean, if that was the case, you would have to shot like 90% of all the teens out there.
Yeah,
exactly. And we're not advocating that it was okay that he shoplifted. That's what we're not saying for the audience out there listening. What we're saying is that okay, he shoplifted. We understand that is illegal. That is wrong.
Yeah,
And we're not advocating that it's okay to shoplift. But what we're saying is like that is not the cause why this young man should have lost his life.
exactly. Yeah,
Lost his life behind a cigar or a split or a swisher or a Philly or a Vega, whatever it may have been. That is not
exactly.
his life. It isn't. And
he should have got arrested, and he should have got his fair trial, and should have got his fair punishment, like everyone else.
Yeah, most definitely.
but see what's so cold about it is that I guess the store owner they didn't report it.
What?
That's what I heard from the media that it was not
Okay.
reported. And maybe I heard that from other sources that it was not reported. It was I think it was on CNN or MSNBC, one of them I don't remember. But it was come to find out that it was not reported. So if it was not
Wow.
reported, then all of a sudden this individual, Derek Wilson, this cop, he just happened to be an a-hole.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah, he was either he was being an a-hole that day.
Yeah.
So yeah, so but that's what I heard. I heard that it was not even reported. Yeah, it was not reported at all.
So basically they only had witnesses, but not the shoplifter himself. The shoplifter himself didn't report anything.
Yeah, they didn't report it. Not at all.
Wow.
And then
Well,
you got
okay,
a lot of
even so, I mean, if some witnesses say someone shoplifts, I mean, then it's the job of the police to, look up surveillance cameras and, look into it. But, not just charge in and just shot someone.
in cold blood.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I mean, and we, like I said, man, this is the misinformation we're getting from the American media. We are not given all the details. And then when the verdict had went out, I don't know if you guys saw it. Remember how they tried to show pictures of Derek Wilson when I guess he supposedly was bruised up in his face way after you know what I'm saying? Like, hold on, why didn't you guys show these pictures in the beginning of the case?
yeah,
Yeah, they should have those pictures right there right when he was at the scene of the crime. You know when they take pictures of everything, they should have had those
yeah,
pictures
exactly.
then.
Also, I mean, how do they think that the people should believe this story if they didn't even take evidence from the start?
Yeah. But see, that's how tyrannical this government and their henchmen, the police, have gotten.
Yeah,
They don't respect the people, that they'll just make up things as they go along because they know for a fact that the American people have gotten so complacent. So we'll just make up the rules as we go along. They'll believe it. They're not gonna this whatever. That's how they think. That's how they think.
yeah. And as I said, and I also experienced this myself, just how randomly the police act. I mean, for example, before I went to the police station to file a court, I actually called the police and, and asked some details to get some details, etc., where I should go, etc., etc. And, why didn't the person on the phone already told me that I should go to, some other agencies and institutes instead of the police? They told me nothing. They said, yeah, I should go to the police and file a court. And then the police at the court say, oh no, I should go somewhere else for this. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
It's just like they're randomly making up whatever they want.
Yeah. See, and this is going on in Europe. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm
Yeah.
like, it's crazy, man. And then this Eric Gardner situation.
Yeah.
This is even more sickening.
He was selling
Yeah,
cigarettes on the
yeah.
corner. He was selling cigarettes. Cigarettes are like $14 a pack in New York City, and he's selling cigarettes, trying to actually do a bit, help the people out and get cigarettes for a cheaper price. Number one, which I completely condone. I think that's good. It might not be legal, but I think that he's doing the people a favor, a justice, and then they come and kill him for it.
Yeah. And I mean, come on, $14 for a pack, that's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is insane. But see, the thing is that this is my issue with the whole Eric Garner case. Okay, he's out there selling cigarettes. Okay, fine. That's if they're going to classify that as being illegal. Okay, fine. I'm okay with that. But what I'm not okay with is the man being choked out to death
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
video camera. The evidence is right there. And their argument on the television is, well, it's not against, well, it's against the police policy, but it's not illegal.
What the?
Like, are you serious? Like, oh, so
Yeah.
so there's no life. So there's no kind of uh there's so what I mean. So the man's life is not worth anything. I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, it's really sickening. It really is.
absolutely. Also, this is about 2 or 3 years ago, but or maybe probably a bit longer. But do you remember this case of this white homeless guy that was tased and beaten to death by the cops? And some guy actually caught this on camera, and he was begging, begging and asking, "What did I do wrong? Why are you hitting me?" And he was crying and begging, and the police just tased him and beat him to death. Well, near death. He got to a hospital in near death condition where he unfortunately died of his injuries.
Huh. I never even heard of that one.
And this was all videotaped on camera. I remember this case clearly.
And that was here in America?
Of course, they went to court with this case, and the worst thing is the police officers, they got spoken free.
That was
They
here
got
in
no
that was
charge,
here in
nothing.
the United States.
What?
That was here in America.
Yeah.
Huh.
And yeah, this was some homeless guy that's gotten tased and beaten up to death.
Yeah, I never heard of that,
While
but
on
man.
camera,
Oh,
begging for mercy, begging, god damn it. He
yeah.
was not resisting nothing. He couldn't even fucking resist. He was tased and pinned to the ground.
I'm not surprised.
Like literally, I can't even watch the Eric Carter. I still haven't watched it. I can only watch like maybe. I can't even watch 30. I mean, I can watch up to the part when they start grabbing them. I have to stop it because I literally can't watch it because it bothers me to see a man that kept saying, "I can't breathe. I can't breathe."
Yeah, this was this guy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't even stomach it, man. Seriously, like I get chills.
Yeah, it's really horrible. Yeah, it's really just horrible.
Yeah, man, I got teary eyed the first time I caught myself trying to watch it. And
Yeah.
you know, I got teary eyed, man, because I was like, wow, there's a guy, he's helpless here. He's
Yeah.
out, and he's being choked out. You know what I'm saying? And you got about 5, 6, 7 different police officers on this
Yeah.
one guy here. And then the way they're shoving his head into the ground, and he's still getting choked out. And the
Yeah.
man is just, I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. And
He-
there is no kind of compassion there's no compassion at all.
And
And
yeah,
then
he gave him resistance, and he gave him resistance. Yes, he did, because he was tired of their bullshit and their crap that they always pull on people. You know,
Yeah.
and for one person to stand up against them, you get choked out to death.
Exactly. I mean, what the?
But look, a couple of years ago out here in California, Oscar Grant, handcuffed, with his hands behind his back, handcuffed on his knees, and a cop called himself pulling out his taser. He ended up pulling out his gun and shot the man. Exactly. Like, I mean, let's for the sake of argument, what's the point of you pulling out your taser when the man's already been handcuffed, he's on his knees?
Yeah, that's torture.
Yeah, then you got about 3 or 4 other police officers around you. So what's the point of pulling out your taser for if you were going to pull out your taser? The man's already under arrest. He's on the ground already. What's the point?
Exactly. I mean, the taser is for for people that have weapons and that are resisting, but not for people that are handcuffed and unarmed.
Yeah. So what was the point of doing that?
Exactly. What else is the point than police brutality? Let's be honest.
And
Yeah.
it was on videotape, Brother Chris. It's on videotape. And
Yeah.
it's like,
And that too.
that's the cold thing about it. It's being recorded. People are seeing this. Are they not using this as evidence in the courts? I mean, like, what's going on here? It's evidence.
Exactly. Or reminds me of this was not that bad, but still, I mean, I remember some video. This was in some jail. They got some, I think, drunk Latino girl. Anyway, something like that. And the thing is, what you see on camera is that she's not resisting at all. The reasoning of the police was that she said something to the police, something offensive, because you couldn't hear sound, you couldn't hear the voices on the video camera, but you could see, you could see what was happening. And she did nothing. she went quietly into jail, maybe not quietly, but not resisting at all. And and then the cop, just grabs her and slams her against the wall. For what? For just saying something? I mean, even if this is true, just for saying something, the cop just grabs her and slams her to the wall?
That's crazy.
Come on, this is sick.
What kind of justice is that? That is,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you don't, like I remember a couple years ago out here in Sacramento, where I'm at. I forget the man's name, but he was arrested, and I think it was about 5 or 6 cops, maybe five, and it got recorded. I don't know how it got recorded, but these cops were just beating the man to death, beating him to death, blatantly over and over, and they got off too. I forget. I would have to dig in my research and find out what the man's name was, but that was a big uproar out here in Sacramento. Only reason why it didn't get no national publicity is because
Yeah.
I think it's because I mean I think he was a drug dealer, and he ended up getting, I guess he was arrested. He was caught in the act, and okay, fine, you got a guy, you got a drug dealer,
Yeah.
you got him arrested. But don't make it a point to be 5, 6 deep as police officers. They
Yeah.
beat, or they beat the man to death. They beat him.
Exactly. Yeah. I
That's
mean,
insane.
and the thing is, I mean, just because the cops represent the law does not mean they stand above it. The thing is, the cops have to stick to the law like everyone else do.
Yeah, tell that to a cop. The only way that they're gonna respond is by the only way that you can get a rise out of them or a response out of them is to fight fire with fire. I believe. I mean, there's no peaceful protest when it comes to police. We can sit here and shoot up our own communities, and and shoot up a house with a baby in the crib, but you can't shoot at a cop. I don't understand this.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, come on, how messed up is that? That's really messed up.
Yeah.
And then my problem is, since we're on this police brutality issue, my problem is that it's very known. It's known in America and the black community that we have always been under these type of conditions dealing with the police. It's nothing new. It's no secret.
Yeah.
It's always been known that this is going on. But the problem is that that's when you see a lot of African Americans or Afro Americans. They want to always get out there and protest and march and demonstrate. But what happens to those individuals who get killed by the same person that's living in their community?
Yeah.
You don't see the media going out making a big story over that.
No.
No.
For some reason you don't. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, and see, that's what I'm saying. And then I have a beef with the media, and I have a beef with some individuals in the black community. Like, you guys are always talking this mess about, oh, the man is this, the man is that, and the man is this. But look what you do to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly
And
what I
I
was
mean,
saying.
the thing is, even if these claims are true, I mean, this does not excuse murder or beating someone up.
Yeah, these
It's
drive-bys
no
are
excuse. It's no
ridiculous.
justification.
Yeah. These drive-bys and this angst that we have in the community, it's just got to end sometime. I mean, and it starts with the individual. It starts with the person changing themselves personally, rather, you know what I mean? Like, and I hope what we're talking about today affects somebody out there, and they don't, you know what I mean? Like, and they decide to change their life or something. But man, these cops, they're not gonna change. I mean,
Well, the thing is, if no one speaks up, nothing's going to change, and that's the point.
yeah,
Then if you do speak out, the corporate
Speak up, yeah.
the corporate bureaucratic machine, media, would do up character overkill on you.
Yeah.
I'll be right back,
You can't
guys.
say more here in America. You can't say anything. And it's like you're on the camera. I mean, it's just a lot of things going on in America.
Yeah, and as I was about to say, I mean, you can't say anything. I mean, come on, America, First Amendment right of free speech. What happened to that?
But guess what? Do you know there's a lot of people in America that don't even know that law exists?
Wow, really?
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Wow, that's
that's
messed up.
yeah, that's the problem in America. That's the problem that the school system is a brainwashing institution. I mean,
Absolutely.
you have people in America who do not know their constitutional rights.
Wow.
And when I had, and then as I've gotten older as a child, I remember I didn't have to know about my constitutional rights in school. That I didn't. That's not when I first learned it. My mother made that a point.
Yeah.
Constitution. You know what I mean? And so my thing is that when I got to school, when we learned about it, I think I learned about it eighth grade U.S. history class, and I already had a good idea what the Constitution was, even though we know when the Constitution was written, it didn't really have everybody in mind. We know that much.
Yeah, it
Oh
was
yeah.
written by a bunch of slave owners.
Yeah.
For the sake of argument, they say all men are created equal. So the Constitution protects you from all this type of tyranny, from the government, from the police officers, all that. But most of the people in America don't know their rights. They don't know them.
And that's really a big problem. Also, yeah, what I also definitely notice, especially in America, is that most people don't even know how their voting system works. And that's one of the worst things, in my opinion.
Yeah,
You know, they go on about, oh yeah, let's vote and let's vote this guy or him or her, whatever. But you know, they have actually no goddamn idea that their vote simply does not count. The delegates' votes are the only votes that count. So what they vote it doesn't change anything.
Yeah, the electoral college.
and see, and the one thing about the media, they openly tell you in their own way that no matter what you do, you can't do nothing about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
They tell you openly. I mean, they used to hide it, but now,
not anymore. Yeah.
that's why I believe in Marxist revolution. I think
No,
that's the
yeah,
change.
that's how I found out that how the American voting system works. I found it out over U.S. media for the first time. They were reporting that the votes of the people simply don't count, and only the votes of the delegates. That's how I
Yeah,
found
it's
out.
the electoral college that votes somebody in.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but
yeah,
So yeah, as BA said, they're not even hiding it anymore.
Chris, BA, what do you
no,
guys think about Marxist revolution? What do you think about that as a solution?
I think that's the only solution for a problem like this because the thing is, look at history. Tell me only one example in history where the tyrants in power ever gave up their power on their own free will. I
Yeah,
mean,
never.
did they ever, you know, one day say like, oh yeah, we've been bad to the people, let's give them more rights, etc. No, it
Never,
never
not
happened,
once,
and
not
it never
once.
will. And the only solution to change that is through a revolution.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, it's the only choice.
exactly. You see, one thing about revolution, we got to clarify what revolution is because now all of a sudden we got guys on in the mainstream making it seem like that they're revolutionaries. No,
You know,
I mean like you got these guys like the Tea Partiers and what's
or dude, come on, or take for example take Alex Jones as an example too. He sees himself as a revolutionary as well, but he's not. He's actually only protecting the existing system,
yeah,
exactly.
but he calls himself a revolutionary.
Yeah, exactly. Adam Kokesh, these guys claim that they're revolutionaries. They make the claim they're not revolutionaries. You guys are free market capitalists like the
Yeah,
ones who oppress the rest of us. So you're no different. And
exactly. Yeah.
that's the problem I had with Alex Jones and Adam Kokesh and the rest of these clowns who be on YouTube, on the internet, making it seem like that they're just so this and they're just so that. You're not revolutionary. You're not. You know what I'm saying? Revolution, you have to change everything. Just
Exactly.
a few organic type of. I mean, you know, Alex Jones said
Yeah.
he feels he's revolutionary. No,
No, yeah.
I
because
eat
you drink a
soybeans. I'm a revolutionary.
yeah, just because you drink a special kind of soda makes you a revolutionary. Are you serious?
Yeah, that's
Exactly. I
ridiculous.
mean, come on, that's ridiculous.
It
Yeah,
is. Just because you do a few YouTube videos on your station GSN, I think that's what it GCN or GSN, one of them I forget. But um, just because you make a few comments, you say that the word globalist and the elite every 5 minutes, you're a revolutionary? No.
The,
And
the elite, the elite are doing it. They're coming in. They're coming in from behind the doors and everywhere, all around us. What are we gonna do?
and
It's the reptilians. It's the reptilians.
like once again, that clown David Icke, he another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys got to like these guys got to be kidding me. I sit here and I listen to them, and I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. These guys are actually seeing the stuff that I mean, do you actually believe the
Oh,
stuff
I'll
that's
say
coming?
something about David Icke. A lot of people don't know this. He actually in the early '90s, late '80s, I believe, he said that he was Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Definitely he made that claim, man. He was the son of God. He said, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people who
Openly,
support him
openly in his
don't
show.
even know that. You ask
Openly.
them if they've heard about that, they never even heard it.
Yeah.
Man, you know what? We gotta bring that out.
Yeah.
We gotta find we gotta find that type of information. I don't know if it's on YouTube. I don't know, but we gotta find that.
Oh
And
yeah.
Was on
I'll
YouTube. It
link
should
the
be
sources.
easy to find. Let me check quickly.
Yeah.
Should be easy to find.
Yeah. In the below this video, I'll link the sources.
Okay, you already got it. Good.
Yeah, David Icke
we gotta
talking about he's
that.
Jesus.
As far as I'm concerned, he's CIA, FBI, man. He another one.
I absolutely agree because, you know, as I always said, I mean, look at these guys. What they're basically doing is, for one, giving out totally false information, creating false, illusionary enemies, and for another, they're protecting the existing system. Wouldn't that exactly be what the government wants?
Yeah.
They want you to believe in an enemy that doesn't even exist. They want you to fight an enemy that doesn't even exist. You know, instead that the people go on the streets and protest against real problems, existing problems. No, they fight windmills.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, this is exactly what the government wants. And that's why the government does not crack up on people like David Icke or Alex Jones.
Yeah, because
Because they're not a threat. They're not a threat to the government. They're actually helping them. And that's why the government does nothing against them.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? And that's why it's crazy because I mean, who else is helping this the government's cause or the systematic rule of oppression? Who else is helping? The religious system is helping them as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And if one of Alex Jones's uh, theories don't come right, or you know what I mean, or it doesn't come correct, like he just says, oh, it's because I stopped it from happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like that's so ridiculous. It's just that's just
exactly. Yeah.
that's the kind of individual we're
And
dealing with.
also, especially Alex Jones is heavily religious.
Is he?
Oh yeah, he's quite heavily religious and protecting. He protected Christianity and religion on various occasions in his speeches.
Oh
Yeah,
god.
yeah, he's a believer in Christ. He says that. You know what I'm saying? And it also says in the scripture at the last days that many people will claim the name of Christ. So as
Yeah.
far as I'm
Yeah,
proposal,
It says there'll be many false prophets too.
yeah.
he's not living in he's not
And also another thing. Also, look at how much money these people make. They make millions every fucking month. Millions. And also another thing. I mean, they're not using these millions to help the people in any way. Do
No.
they? No. They just keep it for themselves.
Yeah, that's why he's got a Hummer, and that's why they got these nice rides and all this other shit
Yeah. I mean, where do you think this comes from? From nothing?
from the
Come on,
people.
let's be honest.
It comes from exploiting the people. They're the worst kind of capitalists. They're exploiting the people, trying to say that they're giving them knowledge, trying to say that they're giving them ideas and truth and telling the truth and giving them,
Yeah.
you know, and they're really not. They're just sitting there shitting in their face, man. Really, that's all they're doing.
Yeah, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if they, you know, in the end of the day, sit in their whirlpool, you know, with champagne and a cigar in their mouth and laughing and they being like, oh yeah, these gullible fools falling for my bullshit and just making me rich. Nice.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
come on, let's be honest, this is what's happening.
I know people that believe Alex Jones and David Icke and all these idiots. uh, and there's no shaking their belief. It's really hard.
Yeah, it's really the thing is once people are really brainwashed in conspiracy theories, it's
Yeah,
really hard to get them off this thought.
you said it,
I mean,
brainwashed.
I was a conspiracy theorist too, and it took me quite some time and quite some evidence from some people to change my mind.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That just shows how brainwashed you actually become.
yeah, it's like a drug. You're like a heroin addict. You can't get off.
It's like a drug, really.
yeah.
It
There's
really
always a
is.
conspiracy theory.
I'll say it again.
There's always this conspiracy theory. There's always some story to believe, and if that gets disproved, then you can always believe another conspiracy theory, and it
Yeah,
just never
exactly.
ends. It's just an ongoing visage. Like it's not even like you don't live in reality. You just live in a world that that you create, that you make up as you go along.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you know what? This reminds me of a very good example I've came across like 1 2 weeks ago. This was about Snowden and that there's this conspiracy theory claim that Snowden claimed that the NSA has been holding back, the CIA has been holding back information on Planet X or Nibiru. Well, this one conspiracy website said this was actually a false call and this was actually meant as a joke. And they even admitted this was a joke, and they said they were sorry for not looking into it. But you know what they then said? Then they brought up another guy called something with Nash, and he said, this is a real guy with real credibility. Oh my God, are you serious? I mean, your conspiracy theory has just been debunked. Snowden has never said that, and now you just, fish out another guru and say he's real with real evidence, and oh my God.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, come on, that's delusional.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
What's your take on Eric Snowden? I don't really know much about him. I've only bounced off of the stuff I heard from the media.
Who can
So
you say
what
that
do you
again,
think?
BA? BA, you're kind of cutting out there.
What do you guys know about Snowden?
I know that
Well,
he exposed a lot of NSA secrets.
yeah, definitely. And thanks to him, we know that the NSA has been, well, a lot of people have suspected America have been spying all the time, but thanks to Snowden, we finally, got proof that the NSA has been doing this for years. And this has shook up, especially in Europe, especially in Germany, this has shook up quite some conversation,
Yeah,
especially also in politics, because, after this incident, the relations between the German government and the American government are as worse as ever, worse than ever before. Because the Americans have been spying on their own allies, and one of their best allies would be Germany, for example, and they've been spying on their own allies. So yeah, of course, this destroyed a lot of trust that existed before. A lot of trust that existed in the past has been destroyed by this.
Hmm.
well,
Okay.
what do you
And with
expect? I
that
mean, we're
being
dealing with
said,
America.
it's been a known fact that in America they've been bugging telephones. Well, COINTELPRO's been around America for years. I mean, you can take this back since the 20s and 30s.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
Wow,
saying?
yeah.
Yeah, man, with J. Edgar Hoover. You know what I'm saying? So that
Ah,
has
yeah.
always been known. They've been listening to phone conversations, and that's always been a known fact.
By the way,
Uh,
this has been only been recently introduced in Germany, for example. I think 2009 or 2008.
what's that?
However, 2009 or 2008, they changed the laws for the police. So back then, before 2009, the police needed a reason to listen to your phone tap. So there had to be some evidence, some reason. Today, they can listen without any reason. If they want to, they can just listen to any phone call they want without
yep.
having any reason, giving any reason, nothing. They can just listen.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's Yeah,
And yeah,
man.
this changed in 2009. I mean, Germany's phone calls are being tapped too by the police,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they can do so without any reasoning or nothing. They can just spy on you if they just feel like it. Yeah, I can spy on the other people. What the hell?
Yeah,
yeah,
man. It's we live in a we're in the middle of a technocratic hijacking.
Yeah, and
Where,
we're getting closer and closer to a full-fledged police state.
Oh
yes,
yeah,
yeah, and then people don't realize how close we're very close to it. I
Yeah.
mean, what do you guys believe about? What do you guys know about the National Defense Authorization Act? What's your take on that?
Oh, I never heard of this one, to be honest.
yeah. I
Okay,
don't
But
know
that's
much about it.
also let me finish this one before you move on. Yeah, the reasoning that the government, allowed this law in Germany, that the police can, just tap anything. The reasoning was that this would prevent crime and, help the police to crack up on criminals. You know what happened? Years later, the police have not caught more criminals. Nothing's changed. So basically, the claim that they would be able to catch more criminals turned out to be bullshit.
Hmm.
So yeah, today they can just tap your phones, but the crime rate didn't go down. The police didn't catch more criminals. No, it was all that happened is that we lost privacy. But
Yeah,
the crime rates, etc., the criminals, nothing changed. We just lost the privacy and our rights and freedoms. That's all that happened.
Yeah,
But instead of revidizing this law, they just keep it. You would think now that it turned out that this didn't work, it didn't work, that they change the law back, but they don't. They just keep it that way.
yeah,
yeah, man. The National Defense Authorization Act. It's short. It stands for NDAA. That's what it stands for, National Defense Authorization Act. I think it was back in 2011, going into 2012, is when President Obama has signed it into law. And it's a bill that if he feels like he wants to call martial law at any moment he can.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I heard that.
Without any reasoning or what?
Yeah. He can just
Wow.
call it.
Wow.
And and I think this, and plus he has a lot of power to where he can control the natural resources in America. Like if the government feels they need to shut down the electricity, they can shut that down. You can't, if they need to put a hold on gas and oil, everything gets shut down. Pretty much is it's a monarchy. Pretty much the president or whoever regime it
Yeah.
is, they just pretty much got control. It's on their say so. Pretty much.
Yeah, but didn't they do something like that, like in 2013 already, that they shut down many open, how do you call it, public services, like for example parks, museums, and things like that? Didn't this already happen?
Yeah, like hold on, what do you mean?
I'm pretty sure I read that the American government shut down a lot of parks, museums, public services, which of course cost money to maintain, and shut them down to save costs.
Yeah, they shut down.
Yeah, because America is heavily in debt.
Yeah, they shut down a
Yeah,
lot of schools.
they may have. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, I haven't heard of that, but I'm not saying it's not true, Chris. I haven't come across it, you know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't doubt it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
The thing is, I read this in German news media, so I don't know how common this information is in America, but this was everywhere in our German news media.
Yeah.
oh, okay. Well, I can believe it. You know what I'm saying? I might have to look it up myself, but they are already like, what is that? Did you hear about that, Eric? About I guess China owns America. I mean, they own some type of reservation out here in China. Did you hear about that?
No, I never heard
No.
about that. But
Wow.
I know that we were in debt to them.
Yeah,
What is
that's
it?
true. I know
18.
that too. That's yeah.
Yeah, I had heard. Like I said, I hear a lot of stuff, and I had heard this a couple of days ago from a guy. His name is I forget his name. He has this thing called Agenda 21, and he sounds like another conspiracy theorist, but at the
Oh,
same
yeah.
time, but at the same time, he's a Republican, and he tries to make the claim that he ain't a conspiracy theorist, but at the same time, he is. And he was
Yeah.
saying how I don't know if it's Mount Rushmore or it's some type of reserve,
I
some kind
wouldn't
of
trust that source. I don't know.
it's some type of land or reserve over here somewhere in America. Since we're in debt to China, we can't pay them. What the Obama decided to do was get them some territory over here to own.
Okay.
So basically, China owns this territory by now.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
Wow.
talking about?
Well, I know that from the 19 trillion, at least from these 19 trillions that America is indebted, that at least 2 trillion are indebted to China directly.
Wow.
I
See, and
wouldn't trust the I wouldn't trust the
how do
Republican
you
though.
how do you get out of this debt? That's the problem.
Exactly.
We're
It's
beyond
impossible.
it's impossible. So my thing is that, but they're carrying on like we can get out of it when really they're
Yeah.
not, and they're not doing anything to get us out of it. They're just creating more debt on top of more debt
Yeah.
on top of more debt. You're creating something that's not going to work.
Exactly.
Like, and I don't understand. It's like, why do you guys continue? But we know why
You
they
know what the
continue to do it because they're
you know what
sick.
you know what the God of America is?
And they're afraid to lose their power, and that's the point. They want to keep the status quo. They want to keep the power. The status quo.
You know what the God of America is? The symbol of the God of America is that bull on Wall Street. That's the American that's the God of America right now.
Yeah.
Is that golden
Yeah, but you
calf?
know what the joke is? I know about stock markets, by the way, at least basics. And I can tell you the bull, which is a lavish stock market, has changed to a bear. And the bear is like fail, or like, poor stock market. So the economy right now is not bullish, it's bearish. As you say in stock market, you say bearish if the stock market, if the economy is going bad.
Yeah, I'm referring
Actually,
to
the symbol should be a bear and not a bull.
I'm referring to the golden calf though that was in the biblical scriptures.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I saw this calf or this bull.
yeah, it's yeah, that bowl is like similar to the golden calf that the Israelites were built out of gold and
Actually,
worshipped,
true. Yeah, true. Actually, that's
and
a good
it's just
comparison.
and it's and it's just kind of like so you got a lot of those and I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this, but you got a lot of those Jews on Wall Street. I mean, I just see a similarity, and you know,
Yeah, the worship of material things.
yeah, I
Yeah,
do,
Worship in the scripture.
yeah, the worship of capital.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's the scripture is called the worship of mammon. That's what it's called.
yeah, that's
It's
right.
the worship of mammon. And that's the thing about America, about just the whole system. It is a system of worship of being a consumer. The
Yeah.
worship of mammon, loving money, material things.
Hmm.
That's the God of America. That's that God that America is worshiping. They always say, "May God bless America." That's the God they really genuinely are talking about. That's
Yeah,
what
Mammon.
exactly.
it's not the God of the Bible. It's not the God of Israel who
No,
stood up.
definitely not.
The God of Israel stands up for truth, justice, and equity for all.
Equality, exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. So this God they have created, and in the scripture talks about how they create another Jesus or another God.
Wow.
America has created this other, paint this illustration of another God. They created him to make it okay to be rich and to demonize those who are poor.
Exactly.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
If you read the Bible or also the Quran, I mean, in this case, they're pretty much both the same. They condemn, being too rich, too greedy, etc. This is condemned.
Yeah, America is sick right now. America is sick right now, and you know what? We have the cure, and that's communism.
Yeah.
Like America is just sick. It's just riddled with consumerism and debt. How can you be consumerist and be in debt too? You know,
Yeah, that's
it's just
exactly.
it, it's just
Actually, this doesn't
it's just
work
the
out.
dragon's eating
Actually.
itself. The dragon's eating itself. I mean, the snake's eating its own tail. The United
Yeah.
States, the United Snakes. I mean, it's a joke, man. And
And seriously, I mean, if you're bankrupt, you're bankrupt, and if you're bankrupt, you simply can't consume. Actually.
yeah,
You- You're not supposed to. You can't. But in America, the thing is that we're in debt. Keep spending.
Yeah.
yeah,
But what? I mean, what do you want to spend if you're like bankrupt? You actually have nothing to spend.
Just keep spending. Spend, spend, spend.
Black Friday
And
is
it gets to
coming.
that.
Yeah. And then
You
see what
know,
happens. Like you were saying, brother Chris. what they were saying, the reason why they create this debt and keep it the way it is because they have power over the people.
Exactly. Yeah.
It keeps their power because the American people have no idea that their government is tyrannical. They have no idea that they are being kept broke, that they're being kept in this hole, in this economic hole. They're being kept here. And the more they add to the debt, the more they add to it, the more, yeah, you know what I'm saying, the worse it gets. And then all of a sudden, the people are more, and then the people get more subservient to the unjust system.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's the problem. And I wish that a lot of Americans will wake up. I really hope and pray they will. But it's, and I hate to say it, but it seems like it's going to take an act of God to get us out of it.
Yeah.
It's
Or
gonna
an
have to
act
come
of the
down to that.
people.
It's going to come down to that, really.
I think it's going to come down to an act of the people. That's my opinion on that. And that act is revolution, and that act is the people uniting, all these other underground groups uniting as one, all these militias uniting as one, and taking out this system of
Exactly. And
oppression.
I mean, okay, this will eventually get me a lot of yeah, a lot of shitstorm from Christians listening to this, but this reminds me a bit of Grandia too, where yeah, was a game, and basically you had the two gods in it, Granas and Velma. Granas being the god that we know, benevolent, etc. Granas being Velma being the devil. And what basically happened in this game, Granas actually was dead already. So the people that have been praying to Granas have been praying to a dead god. But Velma was alive. Well, he was defeated and heavily weakened, but he was not destroyed. And he regained power and rose up again. And yeah, guess what stopped him? What stopped him? The thing is, Granas wasn't there to save anyone anymore. Guess what stopped Velma? The people standing united together. The power of the people was that slew Velma, the devil. And I would say we should do the same. Instead of relying on gods, we should stand together, united, and slay the devil or whatever. Or the tyrant.
And see, this is the thing, because a lot of people tend to forget God works through people, the God of the Bible. So my thing is that, and I understand what you're saying, Brother Chris, because a lot of Christians, and I know this because I'm a believer, a lot of Christians are sitting here waiting for something to happen. You know what I'm saying? But God is only going to help you if you take action first. You got to lead him that way. You know what I'm saying? But in the scripture, in the Bible, it does say that eventually that it's going to get so bad that the Most High is going to have to intervene himself. So, but before that happens, people gotta make a stand. People gotta do something.
Exactly.
Because and it says also in the scripture that if you stay, and I'm paraphrasing, but if you are true to him and true to the cause and loving others, he'll make you a sanctuary in your enemy's land. So, and that's the problem. A lot of Christians, a lot of so-called believers are not acting on it. You know what I'm saying? With him, all things are possible. And my thing is that's my beef with the Christian church. You know what I'm saying? They're just sitting there singing and dancing,
Waiting.
and not, you know what I'm saying, and not doing nothing. They're being complacent.
Yeah.
And Christ said himself that the harvest is great, but the laborers are few. So you got to get out there and do some type of work. You got to do something. You got to work. You got to put this work.
Exactly.
Eventually he'll come and save us, but before he comes and save us, he wants to see if his so-called believers are at least making it a point to do some things about it. I mean, the Christians are supposed to be the resistance against all phases of oppression, against all phases of sin. And the Christian church nowadays, the one that the world knows.
I mean, come on, they do the total opposite today.
Yeah, and it makes it hard for individuals such as myself and others who are really out here teaching our children and teaching others what this God requires. It makes it harder on the rest of us, you know what I'm saying? Because we're actually out there already putting in work.
You want to tell the listeners real fast?
At the same time,
and it also makes it hard for people like me, to have any faith in something like the Bible or Christ, because Yeah, you look at all the Christians and what the church does, and you're like, yeah, you know, it,
Yeah.
you're like, I
Hey,
can't support this,
hey,
and I won't
BA,
because yeah,
BA.
They turn.
You want to tell the listeners what you're part of and what you're about?
Yeah. So, you asking me?
Yeah.
Yes. Again, my name is Brother BA to the audience. I'm from Sacramento, California, and I am a believer in Yeshua HaMashiach, also known as Jesus Christ. Um, and it's been about a year now, and I have been congregating on the internet with a congregation called Knesset of Yeshua, and they are teaching the gospel of Christ. They are a small community in Buffalo, New York, but they are making an impact in their community, not just in Buffalo, but all over the world. They have members in different states, and what we do, we teach the gospel according to how it is written. And we are well, how should I say it? We do accept communism as the government of Christ. We believe in a
yeah,
society that is classless. Under the kingdom of God, what people don't understand, there is no class in the kingdom of God. Everybody eats, everybody thrives,
and
everybody
everybody is a son of Christ according to the Bible.
the son of God. Yes, you know what I'm saying. And Jesus Christ, he was a communist. He was a commie. People will say
Exactly. But even many people say that actually. Yeah.
he really was. And the word communism here, we're not going to find it in the Bible, but the idea was there.
The idea, yeah, exactly.
The
That,
idea was there.
the word didn't exist back then. That's the only thing.
Yeah, the word just didn't exist, but the idea was very common in the Christian church back in those days that everybody was together. That's why when you notice when the Roman Empire called itself adopting Christianity as their religion, they had a problem with the original Nazarene church, which
Absolutely, yeah.
because the Nazarenes, not only was it a religious thing for them, it was a political. They're political. The things they did
That's the
politically.
point. Yeah.
It challenged the bureaucratic way of doing things. It challenged it challenged the way of commerce, how the Romans, the Greeks, and the Romans, and all the other kingdoms. It challenged them. You know what I'm saying? No, you're not supposed to oppress people. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Cause for gain. You're not supposed to. You were supposed to love one another as you love your neighbor as you love thyself. And how is it that you can sleep at night when you know there are people in the world who don't have nothing to eat?
That's what I don't get. Especially when speaking about some tyrants. I'm trying to imagine myself, or trying to imagine myself in their shoes, or thinking in their shoes. And always when I do so, I'm like, hell, how can you sleep at night knowing that there's so much blood on your hands?
Yeah.
I mean, how can you sleep peacefully at night? It's knowing that there's so much blood on your hands and so much misery and suffering that you caused. I personally, I wouldn't even look in a mirror. I would be ashamed of myself.
But for those who are interested, you can reach them at Knesset Yeshua, their YouTube channel. I've been congregating with these brothers for almost about a year now. And I'm way out in Sacramento, California. The Most High used these brothers as a vessel to wake me up. Ever since I have joined on to their teachings and congregated with them, I have learned a whole lot. And I'm teaching this to my wife and my children. They are also picking up on it. So it is a very good thing. It is a blessing to have come across those brothers, because if I have not come across those brothers, I will be still living the lifestyle I was living prior, and that was just in and out of the gospel, in and out of the Bible, and still living a sinful, cold-hearted life, competing against my fellow man and becoming a mindless zombie consumer.
Yeah.
And yeah, wasn't that exact? Also, didn't the Bible actually warn the people from becoming exactly, this mindless zombies and mindless supporters or mindless consumers? I mean, I remember that there are quite a lot of points in the Bible that warned their people from becoming exactly what we have today.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of warnings. You know what I'm saying? That's why the Most High God, he didn't want the nation of Israel. See, a lot of people don't understand. They tend to say, the God, he was a racist. No, he was not a racist. He
Absolutely
wanted
not.
Israel. He wanted Israel, the nation of Israel, to teach the rest of the world these laws and his statutes and his commandments. But what he didn't want Israel doing was going on to other nations and picking up on their habits, because their habits were not just. Their ways of doing things on the daily, day-to-day basis were not just. You know what I'm saying? And the
Exactly.
truth
Yeah.
in Israel, the nation of Israel are his chosen people, and the image, and they are a reflection of him. And if you know the reflection of the Most High God, he is truth, and he is justice, and he is righteousness. So how you gonna call yourself the nation of the people chosen by God when you are oppressing people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Very
And
true.
just like America calls itself a Christian nation, built on Christian views.
And they're the most oppressive of all. Come on, let's be honest. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I don't understand. And then see that part of the Bible, what we're well, not I'm not gonna say that part of the Bible. I'm gonna say that is what the Bible is. That's the gospel of Christ. That's the gospel of the coming kingdom of God. And this is what you're not gonna hear Sunday morning.
Yeah,
This
true.
is not what you know what I'm saying? You're not going to hear this kind of talk in some of your Sabbath classes. But the things I am talking to you people right now is being heard at Knesset Yeshua in Buffalo, New York. You can join their Skype account and you can join their classes. The teachers are Judah Emil and Zadok Ben Israel, and they have they have a whole lot of other teachers there as well. There are some good brothers, and I guarantee, I know you will be edified as soon, and you as you get there. I mean, well, you'll be edified as soon as you make contact with them. They are loving people, and they accept people of all race, all colors, all ethnicities. They have no problem with people coming into being introduced into this knowledge. They have no issue with nobody. The goal is to spread the knowledge, to spread the truth, so we can be that sanctuary in our enemy's land. So when the Most High sends Christ to make his second return, we're already doing our job. We don't have to look up in the sky and wait for him to come, because when he does get here, we'll already be here putting in work.
Exactly. Also, I mean, a good example, even if God, for example, right now came down from the heavens and, would start to intervene, I mean, he would have, like, little support of the people. The people are not even ready to support him.
No, they're not.
Support equality, support the classless system. The people are simply not ready for that.
No, they're not.
So
They're not.
even if he would come down, some people would actually even frown upon him, probably. Even
They're
Christians
gonna
would probably frown upon him. They would call him the Antichrist.
Yeah, they're gonna. Well, think about it. It's crazy you said that, because when he was here in the flesh the first time, they called him the devil.
True.
You know what I mean? And people tend
Hey,
to forget Jesus Christ. He was a revolutionary, man. He spoke out against the religious leaders, the politicians, the Sadducees and the scribes and the Pharisees. I mean, he spoke out against them because he knew what they were doing.
That's why they killed him.
Yeah.
I'll say it again.
That's why they killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why he killed him, because he pretty much was it was getting to a point to where he was just making them look bad. He was exposing them for what they truly were. They were vile, they were criminals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you're gonna call yourself a holy nation, or the priests back in those times were saying they worship God and they love God, how can you, when you're oppressing your own people? How can you say
Exactly. How can you love God if you go against everything he teaches?
exactly?
Yeah, I just want to take a minute out, you guys, real fast. I wanted to say, yeah, I'm Brother Eric, and I'm part of the American Party of Labor. And you can find us at the Red Phoenix APL.org. That's the Red Phoenix APL.org. And I just wanted to say that. And Chris, feel free right now to say whatever you're part of or anything like that.
Yeah, I was about to do so anyway. Well, I'm from Germany. I live in Berlin. Currently, I'm not affiliated to any party because I'm a bit disappointed of of the socialist or communist parties here. So yeah, I'm a bit like a freelance communist. I'm an open-minded spiritualist, so yeah, I'm a spiritualist. I believe in all sorts of spirituality. I have no direct direction, so I'm pretty much open-minded.
Awesome. That's what's up, man. I really enjoyed our discussion today with everybody. Do we want to say why we're communists and what made us a communist and what we view communism as? If you want to start, brother BA.
Okay. Communism to me, I'm going to be honest. Communism is how I really feel that it's the original way to govern a people or a nation or the world. Um, we were meant at the beginning to have all these resources, to have access to them, and to rule and govern ourselves with these resources and use them for the right causes. You know what I'm saying? Use them where they were proper. They were meant to be used for the people, not to be privatized and be taken away from us, and we get taxed for it.
Exactly. I
Never-
mean, sorry.
Oh, it's okay, brother. Sorry, brother. And I just want to say one more thing.
Yeah, okay.
It's all good. Communism, I really feel, is the only way that you're gonna, and especially in America, communism is the only system that can fix the American problem.
Yeah.
It's the only way it can fix it. Being an individual, being a capitalist, no, it's not gonna work because you're gonna always have a small percentage, and you're always gonna have a major percentage of people who are out of luck, who have nothing, and you're gonna have that small percentage who have everything.
Exactly.
That's not justice.
No.
That's not equity, and that is not of the Most High God.
And
And that's it.
also, morally, this is totally false. I mean, this is from a moral viewpoint, this is totally false. And totally messed up. I mean, from a moral viewpoint, is it really okay to have a small percentage have everything and the rest have like nothing? You know, just think about it morally. Is this really okay? I mean, really support such a system. I ask all people that that listen to this: is it really okay to support a system in where 1% have everything and the rest have like nothing or very very little? Do you think this is okay? Just go
not.
into your heart and ask yourself: is this okay? Is this system okay? Is it really good?
No.
Let's be honest, it isn't. It's the worst, in fact.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, to myself, I've been a communist since I turned 20. I started off as an activist and a conspiracy theorist, mainly because, as I was 18, I moved out. I tried to find a job, flat everything, stand on my own feet, and I realized how corrupt and messed up the system was, especially to people like me, who start from the bottom and have nothing. And yeah, they simply get their asses whooped, to say it friendly. And yeah, this was when I woke up and started to think and see, okay, there are a lot of things that are not okay. And what I've heard about in the past, that Germany is so equal and so free and so rich and prosperous, I was, come on, this is bullshit. Only the rich can say that. Yeah, they have freedoms, they have prosperity, they have everything. But what about, people like me from the lower class? We got like nothing. We suffer from the system. We suffer from poverty and misery, while the others sit there and have everything. And they demand more. But they demand even more. They already got everything, but they demand even more. And they blatantly want to take it from us people, from the lower classes. This is absolutely not okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's how I got into activism. And blatantly, I didn't know what communism was back then. I knew what socialism was, but not communism. And socialism is pretty much corrupt here in Europe, at least in Germany. But this goes for most of Europe, unfortunately. Socialism is really, really corrupt. At least social democracy, and these are, the only parties you will find here in Europe. The social democratic parties. Well, of course, you have some communist parties, some alternative socialist parties, but the problem is they are small. You know, they're small, they have no vice, they have no support, and yeah. The only socialist parties who really got here are social democratic parties, and they are corrupt to the bone. They vote for the same decisions as the opposing capitalist parties. Hell, in Germany, last year, the Social Democrats even wanted to merge from a union with the conservative with the Christian conservatives. Like, how
Wow.
can you be a socialist and even consider forming a union with your enemy, which would be so, which would be conservative Christians and conservative capitalists? But yeah,
Yeah.
this is what happened here, and this was always so. Anyway, it got to a point where I became really extremist. Actually, in fact, I wanted to create an underground, something like an underground assessment plan that simply has strict rules and carries out an assassination on every corrupt person. A bit like what you see in the anime Akame ga Kill. Pretty much, yeah. Pretty
Okay.
much like the night raids in Akame ga Kill.
Okay.
This was seriously what I considered, and I was seriously about to do this. Well, this is until I met communism. You know, I met some communist groups over my activism, and the more I read about them, you know, the more I felt sympathetic with them. And this was to the point where I saw, okay, there is an alternative. You know, back then I thought all parties were corrupt, and the only way to deal with it is to eradicate everything. But you know, then I saw communism, and I saw this as an opportunity to support and to end the system, you know, without forming some sort of psychopathic assassination plan. But yeah, doing so through a revolution, of course. And yeah, that's how I slowly became a communist. And as I was 20, you can say I was a full-fledged communist. And since then, I have always been, and I don't think I will ever change my mind. I will support communism for my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's how I became a communist.
Yeah.
Me too.
I got introduced to communism through the reggae scene actually in Detroit. Um, what do you call it? The skinhead reggae actually. A lot of people think when they hear skinhead they think Nazi, but skinhead
Yeah, that's bullshit.
It started as rude boy in Jamaica, came over to the UK, and that's where I got interested in it, and I got introduced to it, and I was introduced to Marxist-Leninist theory uh, through Malcolm X, and I got interested in the old school Black Panthers. I learned that Richard Aoki, the Japanese American individual who taught the Black Panthers how to be Marxist-Leninists and have Marxist-Leninist ideologies. That's what interested me, and then from there I found Marx and I found Engels and Lenin and Stalin and all of those great guys, and I take it back to a lot of people say that capitalism is natural. A lot of people say that to get over on people is natural and that's human nature. I believe the opposite. I think that working together in communal settings uh, is more natural. Look at the tribes of today that are still around in Africa, even, uh, and the tribes in South America, the natives out there. They work together. They don't compete with each other. There's no need for petty competition. That's a Western Hemisphere mindset that came through and got spread around. I think that and so I believe in communism, and that's why I think that it's natural, and I think that sharing is natural, and that comes natural to me, and that's it. So, does anybody have anything else to add?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, anyway, I totally agree on this. But also, I wanted to say something about, you know, sharing resources and like PA, and you also said, Eric, about natural resources and about sharing. I mean, and that's true. I mean, the resources are meant to be shared. I mean, for example, air or water. I mean, this is a common, a common necessity for all people.
Yeah,
Food is the same. It's a common necessity. And the thing is, if we want our human race to survive, we will have to share. And you also have to let me explain this from a biological viewpoint, because the thing is, we humans are a social creature. Like, for example, ants or wasps or bees. We are social creatures, and we need this socialism to survive.
yeah,
The thing is, let us compare ourselves as humans to other animals. You know what the problem with us humans is? We have a low reproduction rate. Our reproduction rate is low. Other animals or other species make up for this by just simply having a rapidly high reproduction rate. But we humans don't. We have a very, very low reproduction rate. And also another problem we humans have, we have a high rate of child death or birth defects or birth deaths. Not defects, but death by birth. The thing is, if we don't have nurses to take care of our birth and help us, uh, most births end in a miscarriage, and they end in either the child or the mother or both dying. So let's combine the facts. We have many miscarriages if we don't help ourselves. That is, we have a low reproduction rate. We simply have no way on Earth to compete against other species. And the only reason we survive for so long is because we help each other, because we are a social species. And because we socially help each other out, this is essential to our survival and our surviving.
yeah.
This
Very
is, in
true.
this case, this is natural for us humans.
Very true.
And
Yeah.
we must learn this. We must understand that we humans are not a selfish, egoistic species. And the only way we can survive is by socialism, by helping each other and
Yeah.
sharing. That's the only way we can survive
Yeah.
as a species. And anything else actually goes against our nature. And that's why the argument of capitalists that capitalism is human nature is bullshit. It's the opposite. Socialism is human nature. From a
Yeah.
biological viewpoint, socialism is human nature. And denying it is gonna hurt, is gonna backstab us all.
Yeah.
We're
Very
cutting
true.
our own flesh.
Yeah. I agree with
And yeah,
that.
the only way for us to survive as a human species is by socialism.
Yeah,
And
by
not
working
by
by working
capitalism.
together.
Capitalism is highly unnatural, at least to us humans. To
Yeah.
us humans, capitalism is a highly unnatural system.
Yeah, that came out of colonialism, and and taking over the Western Hemisphere, and spreading out from there. It was it divided the people. It was divide and conquer, man, and it worked.
Exactly, and yeah, sadly, as an European, I have to admit that this is true, and that this idea, unfortunately...
I'm not saying that all Europeans were part of this at all. I'm just saying that
Of course not, but
the
yeah,
demagogues of
unfortunately,
men.
this idea
at
really
the
came
time.
out of Europe, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm just saying that the demagogues of men at the time were very divide and conquer mentality. So
Absolutely, and it's a really, really sad history. And
Yeah.
I mean, I won't deny it because that's what happened, but it's a really, really sad history.
yeah,
But the thing is, we won't get over this by denying it. We have to
Definitely
stand up and, admit our own errors. The thing is, and this is psychological, to solve a problem, you first have to admit that the problem is there. You will never going to solve the problem if you don't admit that there's a problem.
yeah,
If you deny the problem, you're never going to solve it. So the
Yeah,
first
man.
step for us all is to stand up and to be honest and look at our problems, our history, digest it, and then make a change, work to make it better.
yeah. Very true.
But as I said, if we just deny that this all happens, nothing's going to ever change.
Brother BA, did you have something to say?
No, I was just piggybacking off what Brother Chris was saying. Like he was saying earlier when he was saying that we're hurting ourselves if we just disregard the socialist, communist way of doing things. And that is true. And the reason why it's common in America that socialism or communism is dummy backwards here because we got the media making it seem like oh the president is a communist or a socialist rather. Or I even heard them
Yeah,
call
that's
him
so
Marxist.
fucking bullshit. Yeah.
And Obama is far. He has no. He is not the definition or the acts he is or the way he is condoning business. That has nothing to do with
I'll tell you this.
communism or
One,
it
one,
has
Exactly.
one of the things about Obama being a communist and a Marxist and
Oh,
this and
yeah.
that. One of the things about that is if he's a Marxist and a communist, why are all the communists mad at him?
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good one. You know what another good one is? Even in America, many people openly say that, in fact, Jesus Christ or God, that they were communists. And then let me ask you, does Obama act like Jesus Christ?
no.
Not even
Exactly.
close.
So how can you
Yeah,
claim that he's a communist then?
yeah, exactly. Did Jesus Christ drone strike people?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. Like Jesus Christ was going around. He wasn't going around killing people for a
Yeah,
living. He was healing people. He went to the poor and he did not run away from the poor. He went to the oppressed. Like if you read Luke chapter 4, verse 18, and I'm paraphrasing, he said, I come to deliver the captive. I come to deliver the oppressed. I come to preach this gospel to those who have been downtrodden, who have been taken advantage of. And that's what I'm saying. Like in America, it's very common to make communism out to where it's just this evil,
And the
evil way of
devil, yeah. I mean,
yeah,
how many Americans have claimed that communism is, an ideology of the devil, or the Antichrist, or Marx? Some people even call Marx the Antichrist, and it's bullshit like that.
exactly because they have their media, the devil's megaphone, I like to call it,
Mm-hmm.
lying about what it really is. It's this it's this dead backwards here. You know what I'm saying? Like they put the terms on they put communism and socialism on the wrong people, and which they have no idea what it is. And then they make it out to be like this ritualistic, devilistic worship. Like it's just something you just oh he's a devil worshiper. I've heard Alex Jones say that many a times. Oh Mark like he said
Exactly.
about yeah, I heard him say that Marx was a Satanist. I heard him say that before. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Exactly.
it's a bunch of nonsense, man. It's
how
a bunch
how
of
does Satanism go in with Marxism at all?
Yeah.
No, I
you
mean
see
any one of our viewers, if they can clarify this for me and post something, like I've never heard of Satanism and Marxism in the same word.
yeah, but I mean, you know, that's what
Same
I'm
here.
saying. I would. That's the thing. Like Alex Jones, to be perfectly honest, I would like to address him and really put it on the table. Like, what's your beef with Karl Marx?
Go ahead and ask him right now. Maybe he'll reply.
Alex Jones, my name is Brother BA, and I got a problem with the lies you've been spreading about communism and Karl Marx. What's your beef with communism? What's your beef? What's your beef with this system? What's your beef with it? Why is it that you're promoting lies about Marxists being a devil worshiper? I mean, where did you get that from? You cannot find that nowhere written in any of his documents. You can't find it. It's false. So where are you getting it from? Where?
Exactly. And you know what? I would like to ask you, Alex Jones, why is it why is it that you support the existing capitalist system so much? I mean, at one point you say the system is corrupt, the elites are corrupt, but at the same time you're protecting and advocating the very same system that puts these elites in power. How can you do that? That's my question, my own question to you, Alex Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I had a question for him, I just would ask him why he sucks, man. He just is full of shit. Why he wants to spread all this dumbass bullshit to all the people out there, and just
And
and then
also, you know what? Another question to
and
you,
take
Alex
advantage
Jones.
of the weak-minded people. He's taking
Yeah,
advantage of the weak-minded people.
yeah, absolutely. And doesn't the Bible condemn this?
Yeah.
exactly the Bible that Alex Jones likes to cite?
Yeah.
And yeah, another question to you, Alex Jones, since you are obviously Christian and you support Christianity, why is it that you don't share your wealth? Why is it that you're so greedy and you take all the wealth for yourself? Why don't you share anything? Actually, you
Yeah.
should be sharing
Well, why don't you
everything,
do?
not only 1%, you should be sharing all your wealth with the poor and those in need. But you aren't doing that. You're just making money and taking it for yourself. Isn't this exactly the devil's work? So sorry, Alex Jones, but if anyone is the devil here, then it's you.
Exactly.
You are the devil.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well said. Well, we can continue this discussion, but let me end the episode. And all the viewers out there, I hope you guys subscribe and enjoy. We'll be doing more Marxist rants, having more videos uploaded here soon. All right, thanks, guys.